Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode 155. Welcome, everybody, to this fabulous, tremendous top of the Tuesday morning to you. Today, we're going to be talking about life coaching. And sometimes we just need a coach, and sometimes we need a little insight. And today's all about life coaching. Fuel for Success, of course, is about success in life. And
I see trees of green.
You gotta admit, Mike, life would not be worth living without Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World." Do you agree? That's like my life song. I want that at my funeral.
Okay. We had friends over Friday night and actually played that on YouTube. Just amazing song.
The background, like on repeat, or you just played it?
Just once. We're like, because with you can sometimes we've got a monitor hanging on the wall like a smart TV thing, and you can send a video to it from your phone. And my buddy Tommy's like, boom, and he sends it to it and plays it. So,
bam, Mike. This is our show about life coaching. We got some good questions that came in today. We like to cover the basics of life on Tuesdays. Just basically everything from money to time management to how to deal with stress, how to overcome temptation, pressure, how to become a better person, how to have better people skills, you name it. But I had a dream last night that a friend of mine died. I mean, it felt so real. So since this is life coaching, like my head all morning's just been spinning. Like it felt so real. Like I don't believe every dream is from God. I really don't. I believe that's just dreams are dreams, But if you had a dream that a good friend of yours died, would you tell him?
No. Not unless I felt it was significant in some way.
Unless maybe you saw them getting ready to get on a, motorcycle and you saw the motorcycle crashing or whatever. Caleb, what's your opinion? Caleb, just come say hi to everybody at least. Caleb's here this morning. He's getting ready to go roller skating with his dude. Caleb is now in the youth group. Is that tragic or what? Just say good morning.
Caleb?
What's up, guys? Yeah, what's up?
The basics of life today. Any life advice so far that you've learned?
Life advice. Look positive.
Think positive?
Think positive. Whatever.
Can't believe Mike. He's almost 13, dude. They grow fast, as you know.
It speeds up, too.
Caleb, you know what? This is powerful. I'm going to leave him with one thing, and then we'll get back to our show. We were driving down the road yesterday, and you were telling me that you're getting very serious about your words. Mm-hmm. Tell me why, man. Because this deals with life coaching.
Because I want to have an anointing, and I said this before on camera, but I just wanted to have an anointing, and I feel like if something bad's coming out of my mouth, how can I say something of God's words? It's kind of disgracing it, and I just feel like I don't have as strong of an anointing because it is from the mouth. So just keep it clean. I don't even, I don't say anything. I don't say the slang words either now because I just
no more cussing.
No.
I wish all of you were like that. No, I'm just kidding. We love you, man. Maybe we'll have you on Friday morning for our family and relationship again. It was good seeing you. Can't believe he's going to be in the youth group. Youth group like that. It's just... Anyways, Mike, let's talk. Tell us what we got going on today, my friend.
Well, let me just tell you this. First of all, it just keeps going faster. I'm sorry, but it does. Yeah, it's like a logarithm. You know how the like a bell curve, how it steepens? That's how fast time goes. Because I remember when I was in second grade, summertime was 10 years long. Summer lasted forever. By the time I got to high school, summer was 3 days long, it felt like. And my kids, it's the first few years, it's didn't seem as fast as the last few years. So life accelerates.
It does. It really does. But hey, that's why we live in the now. That's why we enjoy every minute. Because there's no way to slow down time at all. There's no way to stop it. There's no way to recover what's been lost. Life is going, the Bible says life is like a vapor. So we just got to step it up and live it, man, and be smart, be wise, make wise choices. I tweeted about that yesterday. You know, Mike, can I say this real quick? Can everybody just listen to me on this so you don't worry about me? 99.9% of the time that I tweet or Facebook, I'm not digging at anybody, and a lot of times I'm not even actually going through maybe something that I'm posting about. You got to realize I live a full life that entails dealing with a lot of people, and I have a lot of life experience. So the smallest little thing can trigger something, and I'll just start going off about it. And I'll have friends text me and be like, "Are you okay?" Or "I'm worried about you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing great." "Fine. Why? What's going on?" "Well, your post." And I'm like, you gotta understand, like, I view social media as a platform to feed people, to encourage people. So I'm very transparent and vulnerable, and I just share a lot of my life experiences of things that I either experienced or I've saw, or things that I have experienced, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going through it at that very moment. Maybe it's something I went through, I learned from it, I thought about it, and I put it out there. So just don't worry about me as much, my friends.
I think I'm going to write you an app, Matt, that every time it sees any sort of like emotional keyword in a tweet, it's going to immediately tweet another post, say, the previous tweet does not represent the emotional state of the tweeter. Yes, I'm okay. And then just like disclaimer. It's auto disclaimer tweet app.
I love it, Mike. Actually, there could be some money in that, my friend. It's actually a good idea, man.
That's good. Hey, so also, just as a disclaimer, just because we ask a question and field a question on the show doesn't necessarily mean that we're going through that right now.
Wow.
Also, right? Like, I mean, once in a while, if I maybe open a Monday show with, how do you recover health-wise if you've eaten 6 Philly cheesesteaks over the weekend, that may
have been a problem.
May have been a problem, but otherwise, it's like, and I agree, and totally. I tweet a lot less than you, just because it's my nature, and but I'm gonna text you now like every time.
Every time
Bro, you okay?
I know, do it for fun. Like, and honestly, like, it is one of those things where I'm like, man, you know what? It's okay. I mean, it is what, and I appreciate the concern. I appreciate that people, worry about me or whatnot. But Al Garcia was asking me about the Joseph post I posted yesterday. Yeah, I was thinking about the fact that Joseph had this massive dream, and it caused his brothers to hate him for it. And actually, Joseph, I was thinking a lot about my ministry and Mission 25 and just what God has put in me to impart about soul winning, and how some of my peers despise it. I even had one this recently confess that, look, I got to be honest, a lot of the reason why some of us are like kind of, distant to you is because we're convicted. We don't juice, we don't exercise, we don't win souls. All we do is sleep in and golf, and that's just a whole nother deal there, whatever. We'll talk about it maybe Wednesday, Al, and we'll bust out Joseph a little bit.
Hey, thanks, Karen. I posted yesterday, and this is totally off topic, but you know that there are 3.3 million smartphones shipping every single day worldwide. That's enough to give that's enough to give everybody in Los Angeles one brand new smartphone every single day.
I love your hashtag, Go Mobile. And if anybody's in business, I know this isn't our business show, everybody needs to be thinking mobile. Like, dude, how many of you out there barely even check your email anymore? My email inbox has probably 1,800 emails, or maybe even more. I mean, if I gave 4 hours a day to email, it'd take me 2 years just to get through them all.
I had a clean slate day. I'm at inbox 0. Did I discard emails that may have been important? Yes.
I do that every once in a while.
But you know what? I started to get stressed about it. I'm like, I would open my phone and there would be, all those indicators, like 250 there, and I've got 16 unheard voicemails and 30 text messages. I'm just like, there's too much. So I just spent 4 or 5 hours, cleaned everything up, responded to the urgent stuff, got rid of everything else. I feel much better now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to be an email pack rat to where I would save every encouraging email or every email that was like from somebody that I loved. And dude, like the storage on my phone stays full. It's got to be an answer for that, Mike. We'll have to talk about that anyway. Anyways, tell us what we got going on today, my friend.
Hey, right. So we're talking about life coaching, and we've got some pretty cool questions and a disclaimer. But the first question is, how do you survive the valleys or the low times in life without losing your passion and dreams?
That's actually a really good question. Mike, you went here a couple weeks ago and you talked about perspective. I think that at the end of the day, I don't care how you slice it and dice it, it all comes back to how you look at it. If the way you look at things, if the way that you look at the things that you're going through, if you see it as temporary, if you actually see it as something that's setting you up to be blessed, if you see it as an attack of the enemy, if you see it as God testing you, if you see it as just, hey, this is life, I'm pinching myself, thank God I'm alive, if you see it as, I'm going to come out of this stronger, I had a moment, I'm going to be honest, I had a moment, okay? I'm currently, actually, believe it or not, I'm actually currently going through a little valley. The Sunday, I was walking through the church where I was speaking, just shaking hands, and the Lord spoke that scripture to me that says, when I am weak, then I am strong. Like with God, strength comes through weakness. Unfortunately, it's just the way He's chosen to develop our faith and our power and our anointing or our dreams. Sometimes you got to go through the nightmare before you can even experience the dream. Sometimes you got to go through the valley before you get to the mountain. Sometimes you got to go through loss before you receive. Sometimes, like Joseph, God showed him his dream, and then bam, he spent the next 13 years of his life one valley after another. And sometimes that's part of the process. Sometimes, so when you are in a valley, you got to recognize it. You got to ask yourself, okay, what is this to teach me? What is God trying to show me? Sometimes don't rush the valley that you're in. I know we all want to get out of it, but understand that you're being what's the word? You're being refined. You're being prepared. God is bringing something beautiful out of you. You're like the butterfly. You think you're in this, spot where you're going to die and this life sucks, like, a caterpillar in a cocoon, but if you could only see the other side of the valley. So I guess the way to do it is to, not let go of your dream. A valley doesn't mean the death of your dream. A valley doesn't mean that it's over. A valley is for your good. And how many of us really look? Like Paul said, I take pleasure in infirmities. He literally said that he takes delight in stress and in tribulations. He said, I glory in my tribulations, because he said the power of Christ would rest upon me. God's blessings, God's power, and a lot of your dreams are only going to be birthed in the valley. So I guess look at it the right way. That's my take on it.
Hey, years ago I was in Austria, and I was in a mountain, kind of a smaller mountain city up in the Alps of Austria, doing just for business. And I had a Saturday off, and I went and I drove up to this peak. It was supposed to be, I looked it up and found was interesting. Anyways, and I went to the top of this mountain peak in the Alps, just not too far from the border of Switzerland, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking, gorgeous. But up on the mountaintop with the sheer rock faces, and there's almost nothing grows there. It's rocky, it's majestic, it's amazing experience to be there, but nothing grows there. There's a few scraggly bushes and maybe some moss, but down in the valley was where all the lush growth was, and that's where all the dairy farms were, and where all the people lived. And so all of the valleys were fertile. That's where all the growth happens. There's hardly any growth on the mountaintop. All the growth is in the valley. So that's a piece of perspective that I pulled from that and said, when we're in the valley, that's when we grow, because that's where all the fertile growth environment is at.
That's very good. I like that, man. Very good. And the thing of it is, my friends, is it's like the Bible. Stay strong in the Word, because the Bible says weeping may endure for a night. It may. And that night might not just be like tonight. It might be a season of your life where there's a lot of weeping, a lot of brokenness. But joy is coming. It really is. You may have just suffered your greatest loss, but that actually is a sign that you're about to experience your greatest blessing if you keep the right perspective. I've seen a lot of my friends, Mike, lose perspective in the valley, and that's a dangerous place to be. Actually, when you are listen, I'll give you some life coaching. When you are going through a valley and you are weak and you are tired and you're exhausted, all of us don't like to do this because we don't want to be a burden on anybody. This is when we need our real friends the most. This is when we admit and we be vulnerable and say, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm weak right now. I don't feel like doing anything. I can't explain it. I'm tired. I'm going through something. I can't explain what I'm going through. I just need you to know that I'm not on my A game right now. Pray for me. I've done this with Mike. I've literally, Mike could probably make, I don't know, 50 grand today just selling my text. But anyways, it was funny. That's good what Julia said.
Yeah.
She did more growing during the season after David died than she did her whole life. That's really good. I love what Betsy said as well. Some things, sometimes the things that are part of the joy of your life are placed in your life, but people can miss it being too focused in the valley. That's good. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. Hey, and thanks everyone for all the comments and questions and everything. It's really what makes this interactive, and enjoyable in a lot of ways. Interestingly, just a side technical note, Spreecast is changing their platform, and we also may be. So look for a potential change coming up. So our next question, a little bit divergent from the previous topic.
Not stopping fuel for success. It's just, we're looking for other options in case. But
yes, Spreecast is going to be adding advertising and charging for pretty much everything. So we may be switching to a different platform. We'll see. One of the most important things in life really is how we manage our time. And, we only have a finite amount of time, and the way that we spend that time is vitally important. Do you have three time management tips?
Well, number one, don't waste time. That's the number one thing and place an extreme high value on time. And then also find out where you are wasting time. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like, keep it simple. Like, you got to find out where you're bleeding. You got to find out where the holes in your life are. You got to find out what's distracting you. And you got to stop the bleeding. Literally. You've got to just stop the things in your life that are time wasters. And a lot of it, I tweeted yesterday that a lot of it might comes down to priorities. Like, here's here's the real secret to time management. Live by priorities. And of course, this is a whole time management we could do 4 straight shows on because there's so much to cover. It's hard to cover in 5 minutes. But there again, here's the secret to time management is understanding that you can't do it all. And you've got to say no. Like Mike, I have seen people that had the potential of having high-level success or even high-level relationships that weren't able to cross over because they were too distracted mentally and they were not able to say no to people. Like, being successful is downright brutal. Like, hear me now. It's people have there's such a myth of success. Having an unbelievable marriage or an unbelievable relationship or being an unbelievable dad, that stuff doesn't come easy. Like your health, like exercising every day. Like, do you know, like, you literally have to have a focus and an ability to say no 90% of the time. I'm not even kidding. Like, people that really manage their time well are literally saying no to the good and yes to the best. I've seen a lot of people out there, Mike, that don't have the ability to say no to the good. They keep doing things that are good but not best. And I think if anyone out there wants to manage their time and be effective, then they've got to learn how to work by priority and focus, don't waste time, and say no more. I know I've said that before, but I'll say it again. Say no more. And saying no is not bad. It's something that has to be done. And, you know, if you're going to have a highly successful life, you can't see, your actions always need to change as you're growing. You know, my life right now, I can't do what I did 10 years from now. My actions are so different. My everyday life is so different. Even the season of your kid's life, it depends. The season of your marriage, you know, the season of your business, your ministry. There's certain ebbs and flows of life that require more time and attention. You know, for example, you know, some people literally don't have time for relationships, friendships, maybe church, maybe, you know, their kids. And so whenever you get into a situation where you don't have time for the things that matter most, then you've got to make some hard decisions. You're going to have to say no, let go, push away, and focus.
I like that. I like what Melissa said about writing your goals on a daily basis like a recipe, which will help you keep your priorities, which I immediately thought about, like writing my goals on a 3x5 index card, which to me would be amazing. I might start doing that. Apparently he didn't like the index cards. Al's asking a question, you know, living by priorities requires someone to recognize what's important. How does a person learn how to recognize what's important? My quick answer, watch this show. We'll help you out. Matt, what do you have to say?
Same thing. How do you recognize what's important? By the rewards and consequences, by what that thing in your life, what does it bring you? The doing of it, what are the outcomes of doing it, and what are the outcomes of not doing it? That's how you can determine what's important. You know, to, you know, literally look at the results that you would get if you did it and the results you would get if you didn't do it.
Yeah, I like what Stephanie says about looking at the future to figure out, and you know, if you don't have a 5-year goal, a 1-year goal, you know, if you don't have any like future vision for your life, it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out what your goals are and what your priorities are. And so, you know, and there's goals and there's objectives, and you can have specific goals, but you can also have more vague objectives. Like, you know, I want to become a healthier person. And so in a year, I want to, you know, lose 20 pounds. And I use health, for example, because it's very easy to sort of get your mind around. Say in a year, I want to weigh 20 pounds less. You know, I want to be able to walk up the stairs without being out of breath. You know, those specific goals, and say, okay, well, how am I going to get there? And then work back from that, and that will help you prioritize. But you want to get all those goals sort of on one sheet and say, okay, I want to be healthier. You know, I want to be more spiritual. Read my Bible every day. You know, I want to read through the Bible in 6 months or whatever the goal is. and then you work back from that, and that helps adjust your priorities. Without any future vision, it's going to be very difficult to set daily priorities.
That's good. That's very good. I like it. Very good, Michael.
I would also say from a time management standpoint, and here's one that I personally find myself doing, and it's a sort of a habit that I've developed that I'm stop myself from doing. In other words, so it's one of the things that I have to not do is don't check your email every 25 minutes, right? Don't check your social media every 25 minutes. Maybe set aside 5 minutes an hour to do that, and then move on and put it away. So I'll literally, since I work at my desk all day and I've got 4 monitors in front of me, it's easy for me to leave a tab open on my email or on my Facebook or something like that, but it'll constantly distract me, and so I close those tabs and basically get them out of my field of view and leave them alone. Those are huge time wasters. I've actually watched people. I've watched people. I used to do a lot of business audits and go into business places and watch people work at their desk. I would watch people hit refresh on their email client 15 or 20 times an hour. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't do that. You don't need to, your emails will come in. You can deal with them when they come in. And it's just a small thing, but it was very telling about the work habits of people. So.
It really is, Mike. People do not realize the amount of distractions. If I could say one thing from what I'm observing right now in our current culture, the number one thing that is destroying relationships and business success and ministry success and parental success and health success is one word, and that's distractions. Distractions are sabotaging people because there's so much noise in this world right now because of social media and smartphones that very few people operate from a clear mind. That's why I'm such a believer more now today than ever in meditation and in having quiet time where there's no phones, no text, no chimes, no social media. Nobody can get to you, where you just literally let your mind refuel and you get clear. I don't believe it's possible for someone to have an extremely successful life. Now remember, when Mike and I say the word success, we identify success as you being completely abundant in your finances, your relationships, your health, your spiritual life, your friendships, your ministry, your business, whatever it may be, your whole life. That it's distractions, a lack of focus, a lack of clarity in our mind is literally sabotaging our success. It's sabotaging our relationships. Most people, Mike, are dead in the mind. They've lost creativity. They've lost focus. They can't think clearly because of the fact they're 24/7. With either, social media, text, phone calls, emails, and they never pull away from it. And because they never pull away from it, their minds are cluttered. They stay cluttered.
Here's a time management tip for you. Manage your time, okay? In other words, do you realize that if you feel compelled to immediately reply to every text, immediately reply to every email, and answer every phone call, you are not managing your time, someone else is. And I'm not saying don't answer your phone call. I'm not saying don't connect with people and don't do those sort of things. There's a time and place for that. But if you're focused, you're on task, you're on a project, don't answer the text, don't answer the email. Sometimes don't answer the phone call.
That's good advice. That's real good advice, man. Good stuff. So everybody's comments are awesome, yes. Guys. Always remember the benefit of Fuel for Success is the interactive, and you can ask any question you want, and we try to take all of your questions first. We do get a lot of questions emailed or texted in. Guys, don't forget we'll be back together tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Can't wait to connect with you. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about our spirituality and faith. Go to fuelforsuccess.tv. Somebody actually just said, Melissa said that she went back and watched all the previous episodes and she got really inspired. So that's the benefit of what we're doing, is that we save every one of these shows. Don't forget, we now have a thumb drive that you can go and buy right off our website that has all of our shows organized by category. So all you got to do is open the folder and you'll have access to over 30 shows about family and relationships. Like that alone, rewatching those shows could have a huge impact on your life. Would save you so much energy, time, money. If you get better in the areas that we're talking about, you're going to have a better life. You're going to have a higher quality life. So go to that website. Listen, pick one up, if nothing else, to give to somebody as a birthday gift. Believe you me, getting somebody a book or something like this thumb drive sometimes is the best gift you can give somebody. Perfect gift for, teenagers. Get them for every kid in your youth group. But if you're a business owner, buy them for all of your staff members. Buy them for your team. It's easy. Just go to fuelforsuccess.tv. Mike's put the link up there. And like I said, I don't know. What is it, Mike? $29 or something?
Yeah, it's $29.
$29 to get all of our episodes organized by category. And all you do is stick it in your computer and bam. And you know what, guys? It's a small way to give back to the work that Mike and I are doing. And I believe in the law of fair exchange. I believe that, in a world like this, when people are adding value to your life, it's always good to give back. So it's a win-win for everybody. We love you guys. Enjoy your day. And, hey, go manage your time and get focused.
Time Management Tuesday. We'll see you all tomorrow. God bless.